Release me. Release me. Release me! Release me!
Alright, so, can you beat Fallout New Vegas with absolutely nothing? And by this, I want to make one thing clear. I'm not doing a pacifist playthrough. As I'm sure most people who are watching this have seen, many people have beat the game without killing anything. But I fully intend on killing whoever I'm going to fight at the end of the game, along with anyone who challenges me, more or less. There are a few points where I have to bend the rules, or I was just too tired to go along with the strict rules that I set at the start of this run. So I did change a few things as this goes on, but the general rules for this run are: 1. Can't pick up anything, with a few exceptions that I'll get to later, and 2. I can't collect caps. Now, you can't actually drop caps, but you can reverse pickpocket them into someone's inventory, and as they are playing this challenge, I'm pretty sure that's allowed. Like I said, there are a lot of exceptions, and I hate to spoil the video for you, but no, you absolutely cannot beat Fallout New Vegas with nothing. But I still tried, and I think you should still watch this video. The run begins, and I do some very accurate foreshadowing with my name. And after sitting in the character creator for a little while, I decided that the most fitting thing to do for this run would be to change absolutely nothing for my character, so I leave it as it is. And after assigning my temporary stats for the run, as I changed almost everything about my character later because I made a lot of screw-ups in assigning the skill points and my tag skills. I do fix this later, but for now, this is what I have. And then it's on to choosing my traits, and I choose skilled, because you should always choose skilled, and heavy-handed because I'm going to be using my fists a lot and I can use the extra damage. Sorry if it sounds like I'm glazing over all of this, but like I said, I changed most of this later because I fucked a lot of this stuff up. I'm currently editing this, and I realized I forgot to tell you guys that my tag skills are explosives, guns, and sneak. I have no clue why I decided to choose guns in this playthrough, where the only challenge is that you can't use guns. But I did, like an idiot. But I did end up changing this later. However, for now, these are my tag skills. And as for explosives, I decided that I need to find a niche if I want to get into this content creation. So I decided that at the start of every Fallout New Vegas run, or the start of whatever challenge run that I'm doing, that I'm going to spin a wheel and I have to do that one thing that's on that wheel. It could be getting a perk, it could be whatever. But for this run, I had a wheel with every Fallout New Vegas perk on it. I spun it, and I have to get that perk. Here's the footage for that now. And here's footage of who I'll be siding with through this playthrough. I don't know why my audio didn't record here. I'm still very new to this. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'm siding with the NCR. In the second Doc Mitchell gives me everything, I immediately vomit out everything onto his floor as a way of thanking him for saving my life. And it's around at this point that it truly hit me how difficult this run is gonna be. Then I made my way over to the Prospector Saloon and I talked to Sunny Smiles to get this tutorial going. At this part, I hit the first major roadblock of my run because this is the tutorial and you're supposed to beat the tutorial by shooting these bottles with the varmint rifle that Sunny Smiles gives to you. However, I can't use guns because that's like the main point of this run, so I can't complete the tutorial. Now, I could have just easily skipped over this and I did not have to do the tutorial, but I did anyway and I failed this run for absolutely no reason, and I'm not going back and fixing it. So if this really ruins the entire run for you, then I don't know, maybe this video just isn't for you, but I still kept going on with the rest of this run after this. After basically failing the run for no reason, I immediately went straight to the Prospector Saloon to get the quest from Joe Cobb, as I'll be siding with him. And after I make my way over to kill Ringo, I ended up dying a lot. And it's around here that I get my first bit of hell that is this entire run. After literal hours of trying to kill this man, I finally had a run where I got enough lucky VAT attacks and I finally killed him so I could finally progress in this quest. And then go talk to Joe Cobb while floating midair and let him know that it's time to invade the town. And I died many times during this fight too, but eventually I did have a run where I hit back, let Ringo and his gang members take out most of the people, but I did help a little bit, and by a little bit I mean I killed like one person and maybe Cheyenne the dog.
Release me! Release me!
Anyway, moving on from that, after I healed up, I went straight to New Vegas as I wanted to get this challenge run over with as soon as possible because that little piece of combat that I had right there just absolutely sucked. So I try to get this over with as soon as possible from here on out. I then finally got the option to switch around my special points and my tag skills and reassign all that. So I decided that I needed some special points more than others, and I decided to switch around almost everything, but not any major changes, I don't think. So for the rest of the run, these are my special points. And I was able to correct my horrible mistake of selecting guns as one of my tag skills and to selected unarmed. I also made a quick pit stop to get rid of the true leader of the Legion to doom them forever. I also saw some red scorpions along the way, and surprisingly I actually won this fight against like 5 red scorpions, which I really didn't expect to, considering I have a 25 in unarmed skill and I have 0 perks to assist me being unarmed. Then after traveling for a while, I finally made my way to Camp McCarran, and I decided that I'm going to be going through New Vegas through the monorail system because this is the only way you can get into New Vegas without collecting caps or collecting the passport to get into it or having a high science skill. So this is the way that I took through it. Normally you're supposed to have a NCR uniform, but I didn't have one, so I just sprinted by the guards and they let me in. I then made my way into the tops, handed over all my guns to the chairman greeter, and from there I decided it was time to deal with Benny. And I say deal with air quotes because, well, why would I deal with Benny? I don't need the platinum chip. So I decided that I probably shouldn't even just deal with Benny. I'll just leave him be, because for the NCR playthrough, in case you didn't know, to get the NCR ending, you don't even need to get the platinum chip. So I decided to just leave. Once I exited, I met the single thing, the single person that could single-handedly mess this entire run up and make me contradict one of my 2 rules. See, the problem with Vulpes is he gives you the Mark of Kaisar, and the Mark of Kaisar is a quest item. You cannot drop it. So, unless I do a challenge playthrough of can you be Fallout New Vegas without getting caught by Vulpes, which I don't plan on doing, then I'm just going to have to deal with the fact that I have the Mark of Kaisar on me. I then made my way over to Ambassador Crocker to get my first quest for the NCR and start progressing in the main story. So now I have to find my way over to the Boomers, and I do not plan on helping them, so I'm more than likely just gonna end up killing Pearl and getting the hell out of there. I then made my way over to George, and I kill him because he suggested that I dare carry his caps. And as I'm fighting Pearl, she immediately hits me with this insane attack that shifts my entire body to the right, and my arms are just broken like this for this entire fight. I don't know how Pearl knows this. She must have unarmed like 500 or something, but she kept stun locking me, and she shifted my entire camera. Like, she screwed up my fingers and everything. And this fight was just insane. It took a long time, but it didn't take very many attempts, because halfway through the fight, she just let me go away and heal in her bathroom. So that's what I did.
Release me! Release me!
I then went back to the NCR embassy and interrupted Ambassador Crocker's private time and got my second quest for the NCR. Then it was time to move on to the Kings, and at first I really thought that there was just no way for me to do this quest, because at first I couldn't pay Pacer to go see the king, and I couldn't do the speech check, so I thought I was soft locked. So I tried glitching into the king's room many times, but this didn't even work. So I then remembered that I could just go to Colonel Moore at Hoover Dam and have the NCR help me kill everyone in the room. So that's what I did, and I passed the quest that way. I then made my way back to Ambassador Crocker and informed him that I dealt with the Kings in Freeside, and he told me to head over to the Hoover Dam for my next mission. Over at Hoover Dam, I meet with Colonel Moore, and she gives me my next mission, which is to deal with the cons. Oh boy, this quest, let me tell you, this quest did a lot on me. First off, I had to travel my way over to Red Rock Canyon because I hadn't discovered any locations near it. And then, my first attempt, I tried glitching my way into Papa Khan's bedroom while I was sleeping. And my plan was that I was going to kill him and just have it be dealt with that way. But then I realized that all the cons would get angry at me, and I couldn't fast travel if that happened. So I decided that I wouldn't kill him, and I would try and go along with the quest. But this set me down a whole nother rabbit hole. So first, I got the quest from Papa Khan, but then I realized to progress in the quest with the path with Papa Khan, you would have to pick up an item. You would have to pick up a book. And I am trying not to pick up books as much as I can help it. So I decided that I would go down Regis's path and convince all the other cons to go against Papa. But this had its own challenges. First off, it took me about 45 minutes to an hour to get through Quarry Junction to get to Melissa. And once I finally got here, I felt so accomplished, but now it's time to go after the other two cons. So then I went to go convince Jack and Diane. So I talked to Diane and got the side quest to save the con from Cottonwood Cove. I then went back to Diane, and she agreed to side with me instead of Papa. So that's this quest done for now. I then talked to Papa Khan, and he's told me that everybody said that he shouldn't side with the Legion, so he asked me what the Khan should do going forward without having a Legion alliance. And it was at this point that I realized I need a high enough speech skill. And my speech skill isn't high enough, and there's no other way to get through this quest unless I want to kill all the Khans, which I have no way of doing. So it's time to find a way to get my XP up quickly. After searching online for a while, I managed to find this XP glitch where if you have your explosive skill high enough, which I do because I've been trying to work towards getting the perk that I need to get before I end this run, that you can go to Decana Severus and you can repeat a skill check over and over and it'll give you XP. And I did this for a long time, and I basically maxed out my unarmed, my sneak, and my explosive skill. After sitting there leveling up for what felt like hours, I was finally able to go back to Papa Khan and convince his tribe to leave the Mojave. But when I asked him if he would side with the NCR, he said no. And I couldn't stand for this undemocratic behavior, so I had to deal with him. I had picked up the Mr. Sandman perk, and since that's not an item, this is allowed, and I murdered Papa Khan in his sleep to progress in the main story and get Regis to side with the NCR. After returning to Colonel Moore, I inform her that the Khans will be siding with the NCR at the second Battle of Hoover Dam, and she immediately informs me to go over to the Emeritas and deal with them. I then made a quick pit stop over to kill Mr. House really quick because I just wanted to get him out of the way for now while I'm still here at the Lucky 38. I then made my way over to the Gomorrah and handed over all of my guns to the Emerita Thug, and I went to go talk with Kachino because of my high speech skill. I then had a brief heart attack because I thought I couldn't continue the quest unless I pickpocketed Kachino's journal, but then I found out that his journal was actually a note and not an actual item, which means that I can carry it. So I'm allowing this. And I proceeded with Kachino, and I immediately went and killed the bosses. I'm just going to speed through this quest. I go back to Colonel Moore to let her know the Emeritus have been dealt with, and she tells me to go deal with the Brotherhood, so I set off to go collect Veronica. I then go talk to the Brotherhood's favorite psyop and convince her to help me take down her entire family, and then I use my high science skill that I used through the XP glitch to generate a password and immediately blow up the Brotherhood of Steel. After destroying the Brotherhood of Steel, I felt bad, so I decided to resurrect a member of it. And let me just say, Paralyzing Palm really helps. Like, that carried the rest of my run in melee combat. And if it wasn't for this perk, then I don't know what I'd do. After going back and telling Colonel Moore that the Brotherhood of Steel has been killed, she tells me that I need to go save the president. So I'm off to do my democratic duty. I managed to successfully save the president, and I watch as he gloriously rides into the sunset. I then go back to Colonel Moore for the final time, and she informs me that it's time to start the second Battle of Hoover Dam. Colonel Moore sends me to General Lee Oliver, who tells me that I need to go protect the dam right now.
Yeah, you already know I'm obsessed with it. I can't get enough. Back with another mill. Help! Help! Help me! Help!
And here was the final fight with the Legate. It took many attempts to finally beat him, but I'm just going to show you guys the final match where I was able to beat him sped up a little bit.
Please kill me. It hurts. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. Kill me.
Then after I killed Olegit, one of his guards decided to come over to see if he could beat me after seeing me just beating his boss's ass, but I killed him. I then went to go show General Oliver my kill, and then beat the game, proving no, can in fact in no way beat Fallout New Vegas with absolutely nothing. This challenge really sucked, and I really tried my best on this, and I really tried to find loopholes to get around the parts where you just had to collect items, but I couldn't find ways around it, or it would make me have to restart the entire run when I was already like halfway into the run, and I really didn't feel like doing that. And the XP glitch, it kind of sucked that I had to use it, but there was no way I was going to go around every location in the game, killing everything in the game just to level up with absolutely nothing. So I abused the XP glitch a bunch. At first, when I started this challenge, I thought my chances of beating it were really low, but my faith in it didn't taper, and I feel like my chances didn't really fade. Overall, this challenge was pretty crazy.
Low taper fade. You know what's crazy is that low taper fade like meme is, dude, it is still massive.
Yeah.
Massive. I mean, I'm seeing like new ones that I've never seen before that have like millions of likes and views still that are popping up all over the place.